Developers behind the project laid it out plainly. We've had to remove an entire building. The Development and Planning Commission heard that the decision was not the developers and that negotiations for the government to secure the site have delayed plans for 2 years. Monument Place was going to house the college and was planned for behind the Cross of Sacrifice, while Monument Plaza was to go on top of the car park. Now Plaza will go ahead without Place.
The land hasn't become available. There's been negotiations ongoing for 2 years between the government and the third party. And the college was going to go here, and that's now not possible.
Were there also supposed to be homes at this site as well?
There was supposed to be a mixture of a mixed-use development, and now we're only focusing on building the car park building.
The developers told the Commission the plans were no higher, no bigger, no different than before. They said there were over 150 families waiting on this project.
We never sold anything here, because if you don't own the land and you start taking people's money, then you're selling smoke, and we would never do that. So the only sales that went on to local families were in the plaza building above the car park.
So those people are not impacted by this change?
No, none of our buyers are really impacted by this change.
What about the facilities and amenities that were supposed to come with these places?
They're not reduced in any way, shape or format. In fact, we're looking at what else we can add to the facilities. They were always on the main plaza building. So
we know, of course, that the college is now going to move to Europa Point, and it's excellent that nothing was sold here, of course. But does it not seem a little bit premature, perhaps, to have been advertising and planning? It must have been a lot of planning from the developers for something that wasn't negotiated fully.
I think everything you enter into, you enter in good faith. And 2 years ago, there was plenty of time for those negotiations to conclude and for the project to happen in a timely manner. But look, with all the will in the world, we're all people, and sometimes agendas change or things become more complicated. And in the end, it just didn't happen. And what mattered was delivering the college in a timely manner, whether it was in this site or Europa Point. What mattered is the timing of the college. It's much needed.
How much has been lost in all the planning that went behind doing this part of the project? And is the project still financially viable for the developers?
I mean, if you ask me how much has been lost, too much money. Because if we had understood and known that it would become so convoluted between the parties, perhaps we would have dropped out earlier or we would have invested less. But as I said, we work on good faith and trust that things are going to be simple. So yes, there's been a financial impact on the project, but we've managed to turn it around. It's what we do.
Would you still be responsible for building the college at Europa Point, or will that rest with someone else now?
I think my focus and my team's focus after 2 years that we've lost has to be on delivering for the local families. The college, I believe, is running by the government's own projects, but the money's there, right? We all pay premiums, so it's there.
As for the Gibraltar College, the government appears committed to it being built at Europa Point. The Education Minister, John Cortes, says designs for this will be submitted for planning permission very soon.